All right. Outcome dependence. So outcome dependence is incredibly important because really it can kind of shape the way that you shape the way that you see the world, shape the way that things happen, affect you. And if the sooner you can get yourself free of it, the sooner you can actually live, and the sooner you can become someone that you're proud of, or not proud, that you're pleased being. I'll go into that in further detail when I do the pride lesson. But outcome dependence. If I'm sitting here depending on the outcome that this channel turns into something huge, and if I'm married to the outcome that I'm going to post this video and 250,000 people are going to see it because that's what every other person doing this gets, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be happy with it, and I'll never be satisfied, and it'll take away the fun part of it. I'm just dependent on the outcome. Well, really, I'm not dependent on any outcome. I'm enjoying doing this, so I'm going to keep doing it. And it makes me feel happy, and it makes me feel free. Outcome dependence is something that I have struggled with. Hold on, let me turn my AC on. Shit's hot out here, man. Even though it's October, give me 1 second. Hold on. Got the radar. I'm a real person. Not fucking AI. But outcome dependence. Outcome dependence will negatively affect your relationships. It will negatively affect you in the workplace, in your fitness, in literally any form of you trying to get better or you just trying to live your life in general. A good example of this is if you get in a relationship and you're just dependent on the outcome of it working, you're going to rob yourself of the actual experience of the relationship, because you're going to be sitting there doing something. You're going to be sitting there festering in your mind. Okay, how do I do this one thing so I can get this to work? How do I get this to work? And then meanwhile, you're going to ignore things that you probably should be seeing. You're going to try and move in a direction that might not be in your best interest and might not be in the other person's best interest. And you might result back to self-sabotaging behavior. So what is outcome dependence, right? Let's break that down. Outcome dependence is simply just the need for something to happen, the need for it to work, and for it to work in the way that you want. And what happens when something doesn't go your way? I'm guilty of it. Shit. When something doesn't go my way, for most of my life, it pisses you off, it makes you upset, it makes you angry, it makes you want to just sit there and spiral and how do I make this work, because it needs to work, because it has to be my way. It doesn't. But when your identity is tied up in something that you need an outcome for, it feeds itself, and really that's feeding your ego, right? Because we talked about before, if you don't have a solid identity, you're going to seek things in the world to give you identity. And when the thing that you're seeking in the world doesn't happen the way that you want to reinforce that identity, which is ego, you kind of shit a brick and you get real pissed off and you sabotage, or you do things that aren't right. Look at it this way. If my identity solely comes from my ability to say I'm a salesman, and my identity only comes from being the number one closer at the company, and not just being the best salesman I can be, what's going to happen if I don't sell to the top? What's going to happen? I'm going to shit a brick, and I'm going to get all upset because I didn't get the outcome I wanted. And the other thing too is, if you get so fixated on an outcome, you don't see anything around you. You're tunneled in, and all you see is you getting XYZ outcome, whether or not it's actually good for you or not. Because there are good outcomes, and we want good outcomes, and that's cool. But if you're so fixated on it, you actually rob yourself of the most beautiful thing, and the thing that drives you to learn, which is the experience. And it's weird because when you're trying to affirm your ego through outcome dependence, you actually rob yourself of the experience, which teaches you to grow and actually get the outcome, right? So, yeah, man, it's just, it's really important that you can kind of figure that out early. And the first step is giving yourself that rock solid identity that is not in anything of the world. Because it typically, at least for me, and this is all my opinion and based on my experience, right? In my experience, it's been the biggest, most helpful thing, because then it allows me to truly just experience life for as it is. And from there, I can make the adjustments that I need based on what I've been given and my skill set to go out and try for another outcome, right? Okay, so here's an example from my life, right? I was at a time when I started all this, I was 100 pounds overweight. I was 285 pounds, and I was just fucking like fat as shit, super unhappy, and it's okay. I'm glad that I got that experience, but the thing that I had to do, and I didn't actually realize why it worked until so much later, was I had to free myself of needing the outcome instantly, right? And that's what a lot of the self-help stuff will give you, is it's this like, you get this hope wave, and then you get dependent on getting the outcome, and then you fall short. But you just needed to make a little adjustment. But you fall short, and then you fail, but you reaffirm, oh, well, this doesn't work. It's not true. But outcome dependence is what reaffirms the ego. And so, right, and it's actually robbing you of the experience which could give you real based confidence and the real ability to conduct yourself and be happy and understand things and look at life as it is as you're going through it, and if you're just, it's hard to do, especially as like a man, because we're problem solvers by nature, right? And so we see a problem and we want to solve it, but the solution isn't always in doing it your way. The solution oftentimes just comes from, okay, what's the experience? Am I getting closer to the outcome that is desired? Because we all have a desired outcome, right? Am I getting closer to the outcome I desire? Yes or no? Is it no because, and if it's no, okay, is it no because I'm not doing the things correctly? Is it no because I'm doing the things correctly and it's not working? Is it no because it's not sustainable? Is it no because I just don't have the sufficient experience yet, right? Are there things that I still need to learn to make this work, right? Like working out alone won't make you lose weight. It won't. Working out combined with diet. But now, is this diet sustainable? Because you can get an outcome and then it's not sustainable, right? So you got to break it down, and then you got to, but really you just need to be seeking the experience, right? I want to seek the experience of bettering myself physically. And we all have an ideal outcome of having this like fucking super cool body and stuff, but that'll come when this gets formed correctly and when you can free yourself of the need for this. Because this might not come, like this didn't come for me for like a year or even longer, right? Like I got to the point where I had lost a lot of weight, and then I was at a party and this guy told me that I'd never get abs, that it just wasn't in the cards for me, because it wasn't in the cards for him, because he was dependent on the outcome and he fell short. And it doesn't make him better than me, and it doesn't make me better than him. But I remember saying to myself, okay, well, I really, really want to get that experience, and the only way I know how is to just keep moving forward. And I'll keep moving forward. If I get it, I get it, but I don't know. I'm going to go out trying. And that's the right mindset, and that's the mindset I'm trying to teach you guys. It's like, you can have your desired outcome. Don't be married to it happening. And don't be married to it happening maybe in the way that you're trying it. a goal for my life is I would like to be married and have kids and stuff. The truth is, if I fixate on just getting married, I can achieve that outcome. Hopefully, God willing, right? But I can achieve that outcome. But it's more than that. It's like, if you're just looking for the outcome of getting married, does it work? Does it not work? You know, like, do you actually like it? Are you enjoying the experience of it? So instead, I'd like to seek the experience of being married and having a family. And this, in my head and in my theory, will help me find the necessary skills it takes that would be conducive to getting me to that experience, right? And then from there, once I get that experience, I need to take, okay, what are all these experiences and all these lessons and this, and how do I use them to kind of help me move in the direction of my desired outcome, knowing that, truthfully, your desired outcome might happen, it might not, and you might be with the wrong person, right? Like, I could have the desired outcome and fall short because I'm not with the right partner, and that's okay. You can't be, like, if I'm so outcome dependent on it working with that one person and it's not working, but I'm doing all the things, sometimes you got to you just got to take it off of yourself and like, okay, hey, this is obviously not working. I don't think I'm in the right vehicle to get there. So I need to go back and adjust and find the right vehicle to get there. I'm a product of divorce, guys. Like, I don't know. I'd like to have it work, but if it doesn't work, you got to be knowing that you can adjust. That's an example, and I hope that kind of makes some sense, right? But I do know that getting rid of the outcome dependence, for me at least, takes all the stress off. Like, when you just know that, like, the outcome of this is not congruent to my identity, right? Like, they're not intertwined. When my identity is coming from an outcome, it really, really makes you do anything to get the outcome in a not good way. But when the outcome doesn't affect your identity, it takes a lot of the stress off, and I'm more likely to get a better outcome because of it. That's what I've noticed. It's really helped me. I hope that it can help you. As I continue to do this, I'm sure that the messaging and stuff will get a little bit more clear, and I'll have more practice to articulate these things better. And I'm cool with that. I'm not married to the outcome that this is going to be the best video right now. I'm just, in time, with experience, it'll hopefully get better, you know? And so, yeah, so thank you guys for listening to this. If you do, if you don't, I still had fun. I still experienced it, and I'm happy. Take care, y'all.